in. Let's talk about it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. Testing 1, 2, 3. Could you guys hear me? Bars. How are you guys going, man? How are you guys doing? It's a cool Sunday evening. A very cool Sunday evening. We're relaxing today. We are going to just highlight some of the things that was discussed this week. And also, we are going to, let the industry know that we see you. We see you, Sony. We see you. And it appears that PlayStation fans are waking up. In light of all these tariffs and so forth, we are seeing happening. We are seeing where the value in gaming is. So how are you guys doing? Put something in the chat. I'll shout you out. Let me see who is in the chat here. First up, I'm seeing Jelani. Jelani, what up, man? What up, Jelani? This is a sickness. What up, Yataza? Bless up. Brother J, yeah, man. Take it easy. President Jim Ryan, what up? We have Talos Re. What up? Backstrap Otaku News. How are you doing? Let me say a shout out to Sasuke Aizen. What up? Songs Anime Man. Adita or Aditya Zombie. What up? Wayne G. What's up, my brother? Professor Strong. One of the strongest professor I know. Professor Strong, what up? Don't forget, guys, hit the like button. If it is you are liking what you're hearing, hit that subscribe button. So, guys, we have a lot to talk about today. I mean, this week was wild as any ordinary week. But at the end of the day, a lot of gamers realize that Sony didn't come out to play.
I'm not looking for friends in this thing, people. I'm not looking for friends. I'm looking for money.
That is what a lot of PlayStation gamers are realizing now. Sony is not looking for friends. You feel Sony wants your loyalty. Sony don't want your loyalty. Sony just wants your money. Dollar green, dollar bills, right? So the first thing we will talk about today is that the video I would have posted up today, a lot of persons were saying that I was capping with, when I said Microsoft was giving out money. I mean, this was an actual story, guys. Island Girl ACD. That's my Island Girl, man. What up, Island Girl? Welcome. Let me share this with you guys. All right, let me share this with you. We will also talk about the Switch 2 as well. Yes, Jim Ryan, we'll talk about that. I mean, the Nintendo Switch right now is wild. Nintendo need to be very careful what they do next. But look at this. Some person said I was capping when I said Microsoft was giving away free money. They thought I was lying. Look at this. This is an article brought to us by Pure Xbox, and they are saying Microsoft is handing out free Xbox gift cards for the spring sale 2025. Now, this says a lot. This article was written Friday at 6 a.m. Now, given the economy, given what everyone is saying about the gaming industry is heading for a crash, so forth. I know a lot of persons, a lot of analysts has a lot to say about, the gaming industry. One thing I know for a fact is that here, what? No matter which platform you play on, what is that platform giving you? When it comes to games, when it comes to value, what is the platform giving you? And right off the bat, everyone is complaining about prices here. Microsoft says Microsoft is giving away free gift cards. Now, tell me, when was the last time Sony did that, ponies? Is there any ponies in the chat? When was the last time Sony would have given you something for free, something of worth? This is why I can't rock with Sony, because at least Microsoft is doing this. Let's see what this article says. This week, Microsoft finally unleashed the Xbox Spring Sale 2025 with over 1,000 games currently discounted as part of the massive promotion. However, the team has gone one better for certain Xbox users. So this is where persons are getting confused. It's certain Xbox users. By handing out free gift cards to encourage some spring sale spending. It goes on to say that, as posted over on Reddit, some Xbox players are getting free Microsoft Store gift cards pinged to their inbox, seemingly for either $5 or $10. Here's an example of the sort of message you'll receive if you end up being one of the lucky recipients of this bonus Xbox offer. So look at it here. This is the message you would see if it is you log on to your Xbox. You see Microsoft is giving away, this free money. Now, tell me something. I can't remember the last time Sony did that. Sony would have charged you guys full price, I believe was $40 for Concord, and you guys barely got that back after that game crashed and burned like wildfire. What up, Iron Mike? What up? So it's very clear that we are seeing the value happening. So this is the message you will get if it is Microsoft would have chosen you to give you either a $5 or a $10 USD gift card. Very, very interesting. It's not only this user sharing their success either. Plenty of comments within this thread are claiming to be successful as well, with some users also mentioning that they had to log on to their the alternate lesser used account to see the offer crop up. Yeah, so I mean, Microsoft is giving away money. Were you one of the Xbox users who would have gotten, free gift cards? No, I'm guessing that they are giving gift cards to accounts that are not used as much. So persons who are not using their Xbox account as much, they would have been getting, this free gift card. But it just goes to show the difference when it comes to the platforms. There's a clear difference, right? So that's the first topic. We are seeing Microsoft is giving you value for your money by giving you free gift cards. Yes. Now, one thing I want to see is that there is a lot of talk about Nintendo. There's a lot of talk about the Switch too. And right now, a lot of Nintendo fans are not too happy with what or the messaging Nintendo is coming out with. So let's listen to some of the things that persons are. There's good and there's bad news when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's see what are some of the good news first, and then we'll look at some of the bad news. Right? Richie, I didn't get any gift card. Yeah, so apparently that they're giving selective persons the gift cards. They are not giving every single Xbox user. Maybe if it is you don't have much playtime on a certain account, Microsoft is giving you, gift cards just to give you a little incentive to purchase these games. Yeah? So look at this here. Let me share this here with you.
And the Nintendo Switch.
Right? And let me play this. So first of all, we are going to look at the Nintendo Switch 2 price. So some persons were speculating, given the tariffs, Nintendo would have raised their price for the Nintendo Switch 2. It was rumored that the console would have been $450 for the standard edition and $499 for the Mario World edition. But we are seeing that it appears that Nintendo is absorbing the cost when it comes to the console. But when it comes to the accessories, we are seeing that these guys are hiking up the price. Let me say shout out to Anonymous Boss. Anonymous Boss, big up yourself. Island J, say, this is a sickness. You better believe it. I don't know. You better believe it, Anonymous Boss. Believe it's a big time sickness, man. So look at this here, right? Look at this article, or rather, let's listen to this article here. Listen.
Nintendo Switch 2 pricing. Retail pre-orders to begin April 24th in US.
So the Nintendo Switch prices would begin, or rather the pre-order would begin on April the 24th, I believe. April the 24th.
Retail pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 will begin on April 24th.
Yeah.
2025 at launch. The price for Nintendo Switch 2 in the US will remain as announced on April 2nd at $449.99.
Right.
And the Nintendo Switch 2 plus Mario Kart World Bundle will remain as announced at $499.99.
So if someone is getting a Switch 2, the best deal is to get the $499 version. At least you get Mario Kart World for around $50 USD. That's the best value I'm seeing. Now, some persons were arguing that the price of the console should be... No, I'll give you my opinion first. I was of the opinion that the console should have been $399. Right? The Nintendo Switch 2 should have been about $399. That would have been the ideal price that would not have left a bitter taste in a lot of gamers' mouth. Rather, Nintendo would have chosen to sell this console for $450, which is not bad. I mean, spending $50 more is something. However, that price is leaving a bitter taste in some gamers' mouth. Now, some gamers don't care about that $450 price tag. And matter of fact, there is one guy already lining up at the Nintendo store there in New York. He's waiting 2 months. 2 months, man, for that Nintendo Switch. I mean, you guys are going crazy in the States, man. 2 months? How this guy is bathing? How he's going to the bathroom? What's going on there, man? But, I mean, this is what some persons do to be the first. Okay, let's go on.
Pricing for both physical and digital versions of Mario Kart World, $79.99, and Donkey Kong Bonanza, $69.99, will also remain unchanged at launch.
So I disagree one time with the $79.99. Nintendo should not be charging that amount of money for a game. I mean, they are setting a bad precedence when it comes to, how much a company would sell a game for. $79.99, $80 is too much money. Let's face it. Nintendo, I'll give you an L for that one. I don't mind the $450. That's my personal opinion. I know some persons, they don't mind. They mind that is too much money according to them. But for me, the game prices are terrible. $80 for that Mario Kart World is a bad precedent in my opinion, right? But I'm seeing the rest of games like Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70. That is standard in the industry and so forth. So we'll see what Nintendo decides to do going forward after that $80 Mario World bundle.
However, Nintendo Switch 2 accessories will experience price adjustments from those announced on April 2nd due to changes in market conditions. Other adjustments to the price of any Nintendo product are also possible in the future, depending on market conditions. We apologize for the retail pre-order delay and hope this reduces some of the uncertainty our customers may be experiencing.
So right now, Nintendo's in the hot seat because of the pricing. Now, some would chum it up to inflation, some will chum it up to the tariffs. But Nintendo need to, direct their customers, letting them know the value they are getting from Mario Kart World, and all these other games. Now, this thing is going to sell out initially, but we will have to wait and see what it will eventually do going forward. I mean, a year in, 2 years in, we'll see what Nintendo would do. But this is the prices on the screen here, guys. We are seeing $449, $450 for the Nintendo Switch 2 Standard Edition. We are seeing $499 for the Mario Kart World Bundle. We are also seeing that the Joy-Cons, wow, a pair of Joy-Cons is almost $100. Joy-Con 2 charging grip is $40. We are seeing the strap. The strap is wild here, man. $14 for that Joy-Con 2 strap. Crazy. The wheel is $24.99. Nintendo Switch 2 camera is $55. I mean, the prices on the accessories here for these Nintendo Switch 2, accessories is crazy. But what you are going to do? Are you going to support this?
We thank our customers for their patience, and we share their excitement to experience Nintendo Switch 2 starting June 5th, 2025. We apologize for the retail pre-order delay and hope this reduces some of the uncertainty our customers may be experiencing. We thank our customers for their patience, and we share their excitement to experience Nintendo Switch 2 starting June 5th, 2025. Manufacturer's suggested retail price as of April 18th, 2025.
So Backshop Man is saying Nintendo better bring me my money. So what are you guys going to do? But this is basically the best news you guys could have. Shadow Gamer, what up? Let's do voodoo. Listen to me, get out of here with that, man. Right now, this is the best news you can get if you are looking into the Nintendo Switch 2, that they are not going to raise the price of the actual system. It's going to remain at $450 and it's going to remain at $499, right? Now, Nintendo still have to explain this though. Look at this, guys. This is a little fishy on Nintendo part. Why is Nintendo Switch 2 when Nintendo quietly removes VRR support from the listing pages? Now, some persons are saying that they are only removing it from certain country pages, but it's still up in Japan, I believe in China and so forth, but in America, certain areas they would see Nintendo remove that. But this seems to be very fishy. Is Nintendo Switch 2 VRR compatible, or is the answer no? What is Nintendo doing? Nintendo need to clear this up, because it's very clear that something is wrong there with this VRR support.
To back up.
Persons are not, they are seeing that they are taking it down quietly out of their official pages. So this is bad news here. We all thought that Nintendo Switch 2 would have VRR, but we'll have to wait and see what Nintendo does when it comes to this. Is it that they really have VRR, or is it no? We'll have to wait and see. But there's also more bad news in Nintendo Switch, because listen to this.
Switch 2 Edition Zelda games won't support cloud saves to back up your data. The Switch 2 editions of both Zelda games won't support cloud saves for data backup, and it's currently unclear why. On the store pages for both Zelda, Breath of the Wild and Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom on Switch 2, a disclaimer reads, Please note, this software does not support the Nintendo Switch Online paid membership's Save Data Cloud Backup feature. This same disclaimer is not present for other Switch 2 Edition games. Super Mario.
So something is happening there with the cloud backup feature for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and also Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Something is wrong there because every other game Nintendo has this cloud backup feature. But Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, for some reason is not getting. Is it that Nintendo is getting trouble to implement this feature onto Switch 2? What is going on, Nintendo?
Mario Party Jamboree, Metroid Prime 4, or Kirby in the Forgotten Land. So it's unclear why this is only impacting Zelda games. What's more, this disclaimer is only on the US and EU store pages. The Japanese page still states the Nintendo Switch Online paid membership is required for the use of the Save Data Storage Service, machine translation. Eurogamer has contacted Nintendo for clarification. Why does this matter? As a user on Reset Era noted, players can import their save file from the original Switch to continue using the Switch 2 edition of the game, but then won't be able to create a new cloud save file as they continue. What's more, it seems even if players start a fresh save using the Switch 2 edition, they still won't be able to back up their save file. But why exactly would this only be the case for Zelda and not other games? For now, the reason is unknown. The Switch 2 editions of original Switch games do bring plenty of upgrades. The Zelda games, for instance, have improved visual performance as well as an updated app with achievements and a new method to repair equipment. In the UK, these complete, updated editions for the new console will cost £65, with all data included on the game card, something Nintendo clarified following confusion. However, Breath of the Wild won't include the original game's DLC on Switch 2. Switch 2 edition games will be complete on the card without a download. Nintendo confirms. Nintendo's Switch 2 edition ports of OG Switch games cost £65 in UK.
So Nintendo really needs to do some damage control. Right now, it's not looking good for Nintendo. Nintendo is getting problems when it comes to the VRR. They are getting problems when it comes to cloud saves for both Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and also Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So Nintendo has some work to do to gain back, the confidence of the gaming public. So I don't know what would happen when it comes to these two games and that feature, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, guys, outside of Nintendo, we have a wonderful meltdown that I did only put like a 2 to 3 minute clip on my latest video. But tonight, we have that meltdown, that sweet, sweet pony meltdown in full. We'll save that for last. However, let us now look and see what Digital Foundry is saying about, the Indiana Jones being played on a Nintendo Xbox Series X compared to PlayStation 5 Pro, even a PlayStation 5. Now, before I play the video, let me say this. There should be no conceivable world where a 5-year-old console is able to outperform the PlayStation 5 Pro. According to most people in the industry, the PlayStation 5 Pro is a premium console. It is more powerful. They were even touting the PlayStation 5 Pro to being better than some high-end PCs. This is what these ponies were saying, right? This is what plenty industry veterans were saying. That guess what? The PlayStation 5 Pro should be better than a lot of PCs. This is what they were saying, right? So if I play this video and at any point in time the Xbox Series X is performing on par or better than the PlayStation 5 Pro, then ask yourself this, ponies, why buy a PlayStation 5 Pro? If you are not seeing a noticeable difference when it comes to your video games, if you are not seeing a noticeable, performance when it comes to FPS, then why buy it? You must be able to notice these things in order to justify your purchase, correct? Let me say shout out to Gambit. Gambit, what up? Satirus. That's how you pronounce your name, man, Satirus. Dolomite, what up? Welcome, guys. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way in. Don't forget to hit the like button. Welcome, Valkyrie. Valkyrie, thank you for your kind words, man. I try my best with the videos, man. I try my best. Thank you. I recently got some new mics as well, so hopefully you guys will be hearing better. Right? DJ B Brother Dos. What up, man? What up? What up? Welcome. Let's look at this comparison video here by Digital Foundry. Remember, guys, the Xbox Series X cannot perform equal to or greater than the PlayStation 5 Pro. If that is possible, then you guys got robbed. Satius. Yes. Thank you, man. Let's look at this video.
As one of the major titles to emerge from Microsoft's
Just a
acquisition
reminder
of Bethesda, Indiana Jones and the Great
Digital
Circle
Foundry
proved
would have
a
given
critical
this
hit
game of
on
the year, Game of
Xbox
the Year.
Series X, S, and PC in late 2024.
2024
And now,
Game of the
4 months
Year
later,
for
it
Digital
arrives
Foundry.
on PlayStation 5 consoles too. To cut to the chase, this translation to PS5 and PS5 Pro is a success.
Guys, before we play this video, let's look at this. Before we play this video, let's see how many persons let's see this survey. How many persons on the PlayStation platform is playing Indiana Jones? So before we even play this video, guys, let's look at that. How many persons on the PlayStation 5 is playing Indiana Jones? Because I recall, guys, that the PlayStation community said that Sony would have Xbox would have made a bad bet to even consider buying or renting that franchise, Indiana Jones. Look at this here, right? So this is a poll here by Pure Xbox, and they're asking the question: are you playing Indiana Jones and the Great Circle on PlayStation 5? Remember, the PlayStation community was saying, Xbox don't have good games. But let's wait and see. Let's see how many persons are playing it. So Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has arrived on PlayStation 5 months after its original release on Xbox and PC. But it was really well received back then. And we doubt it'll be much different with players on Sony's current gen system now. So let's look at this. So put in the comment section, how many persons do you think are playing Indiana Jones on the PlayStation 5? Do you think it is yes, of course? Would this get the majority of the votes? What about not yet, but I plan on playing it at some point? Would this get the most of the votes? Would this be nah, but I'm tempted? Which one of these here will be the most? All right? So just for science, I am going to choose no, it's not just for me, right? It's not, no, it just isn't for me. Let's see what the votes are saying here. Wow. So this is 68% of PlayStation gamers are playing Indiana Jones. Now, this is very surprising because the PlayStation community was saying that they don't rock with Xbox games. But it just so happened that these guys are loving these Xbox games. And this is to be expected because these guys are dry, these guys are parched. They are not eating anything here on the PlayStation side. These guys are too dry. That's why we know this would have won. So, are you a fan of Indiana Jones? Let's just say yeah. Let's see how many fans of Indiana Jones are there on the PlayStation side. Wow. So this is crazy. Look how many persons love Indiana Jones on the PlayStation side. So seeing that we have this data, let's continue the video and let's see what Digital Foundry is saying about how Indiana Jones is running on the PlayStation 5 Pro compared to the Xbox Series X and the PS5. Let's look and see.
That's all round. It compares well to Series X in particular, with developer Machine Games realizing an authentic take on the Indiana Jones films using its motor engine, a customized branch of id Tech 7, which itself powered the likes of
I must say that they did a great job with Indiana Jones.
2020's Doom
Indiana
Eternal.
Jones looks
It's
real.
impressive stuff, from the near one-to-one recreation of Raiders of the Lost Ark's opening scene to the sprawling Vatican City.
I
Each
believe
level
we will
plays
get a
host to
sequel
all manner of
for
whip-cracking,
Indiana Jones.
stealth, puzzling, and sleuthing.
And what is the
And
good
once
thing,
again, we
guys?
get ray-traced global
The
illumination.
good thing is that Machine Games did not copy PlayStation with Nathan Drake or with Tomb Raider. They made something their own. They decided to go with the first person view, and it paid off for them. It paid off for them. It was received very well.
Let's find out.
Let's look at this here. So far, guys, we have the Xbox Series X versus the PlayStation 5 versus the PlayStation 5 Pro. Remember, there should not be at any point in time the Xbox Series X should be running better than the PlayStation 5 Pro or even on par.
A few points to start. The Great Circle on PS5 has parity feature-wise with the Series X release, though it's worth noting that it adds adaptive trigger support on its DualSense controller for pulling the trigger on guns and also melee.
So that's one point to the PlayStation 5 Pro. They have adaptive triggers. We know these ponies love their rumbles.
Beyond that, the visual setup is remarkably straightforward. Machine Games optimizes PS5 purely around a 60 FPS experience with RTGI as the de facto means of lighting its environment.
Let me just say it feels so good to have these ponies pay full price for this game while we were able to experience this masterpiece on Game Pass, right? So that poor pony there, Zinc, I'm so happy you paid full price. $70 for this banger. Continue paying. When you ponies pay, we all win.
Environments. There is no graphics mode toggle, nor any alternative 30 FPS option pushing higher fidelity settings, but the upshot is that we do get a broadly polished single means of playing the game. To the comparisons, and I've captured PS5 and PS5 Pro on the game's latest update, 1.03 as of recording, and fresh capture of Series X's most current build. It's also worth noting that I'm using the standard 16:9 aspect ratio view on all systems. So, in a three-way split, there are a mixture of fortunes here. But the positive first. In terms of most core visual settings, all three platforms are exactly matched. Texture quality, shadow resolution, and world detail draw across the forest all run at the same settings between PS5, PS5 Pro, and Series X. Likewise, the quality of the RTGI, which on Series X runs at lower than PC's low settings, also translates to both PS5 machines. In effect, this setting limits the objects within the scene affected by the ray-traced diffuse lighting pass. It's a trade-off to hit that 60 FPS target on console while also keeping RTGI in place, but the result is still impressive overall. Otherwise, volumetric lighting quality is also matched between base PS5 and Series X, though it appears we get a higher setting on PS5 Pro here. The net benefit being that there's marginally less aliasing along the streaks of light spilling through the college windows, though it does fall short of PC's best volumetric setting.
Yeah. Now tell me something. If I bought a PlayStation 5 Pro, I should be able to see a noticeable difference between all versions. Correct? Now, could somebody point out the difference with the PlayStation 5 Pro? If Digital Foundry did not put the name of which console this was being ran on. Could you tell the difference, guys? Paying $800 for a PlayStation 5 Pro, I should be able to see the difference. Where is the difference here, guys? Come on, man.
In every other respect, there is parity between the three. Sadly, this also extends to the game's occasional rough points on Series X.
There is parity with the three. So what they are saying here is that the Xbox Series X, the PlayStation 5 Pro, and the PlayStation 5 all runs the same. Parity with visuals. Let's listen again.
Notably, the presentation of shadows. Even all these months on from release, there's a lingering issue with shadow filtering on Xbox, which
shadows
stays in place on the PS5 consoles as well. In short, shadow maps across the floors and walls will abruptly step up in detail based on your proximity to...
Listen to me. If I am paying $800 for a PlayStation 4 Pro, PlayStation 5 Pro, sorry, my shadows should be ahead of my objects. Why is it that the same problem that the PlayStation, or that the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 Pro is happening? Why is the PlayStation 5 is happening? Why is the PlayStation 5 Pro getting the same problem? PlayStation 5 Pro shadows should be ahead of everyone. What's going on here?
To it, and this update occurs in set meter-length increments to make matters more obvious. It's a shame that shadow filtering is such a distraction, and it's really the only blemish on what's otherwise a well-presented package visually. There is also a small discrepancy in brightness on Series X worth touching on, owing to its default setting being 5 clicks higher than PS5 by default, but really that's the full extent of the difference there.
Series X has a lighting problem.
Speaking on resolutions, Machine Games keeps it simple on base.
When is Digital Foundry going to say that the PlayStation 5 version is vastly superior to the other consoles? I am waiting for them to say that. Where is it?
PS5, but enhances the Pro version to allow a higher max pixel output.
Right. So on paper, the PlayStation 5 Pro has a higher max output, right? So 66% to 100% scale of 4K. So this is the max, pixels that the PlayStation 5 Pro could push. It can go up to 4K, 66% out of 100. Now both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X can do that 55%. They can hit 4K 55% of the time, compared to PlayStation 5 Pro 66. So is this 66 worth $800? Let's see.
Dynamic resolution scaling is in play with PS5 and Series X, each running at a 1200p
Hit the like button, guys.
1800p range, while PS5 Pro adjusts between a higher 1440p lower bounds, rising to 4K at peak. All use id-Tech's TAA method to clean up visual noise, with the only side effect being the presence of occasional banding on movement across busy points within the frame, like fine stitching on clothing. It's also worth stressing.
Right. Did he say you are seeing fine stitching on the PlayStation 5 Pro version compared to the other consoles? I think
these DRS ranges don't tell the whole story in terms of image quality. As raw metrics, they only point to the extreme best and worst cases, but the average practical resolution tends to rest in between those values. For example, focusing on PS5 and Series X, which share the same 1200 to 1800p range, it's clear that Series X often runs at a higher resolution on average. In almost every scenario, Series X renders more pixels per frame, resulting in a sharper resolve, especially visible while zooming into the dense jungle detail of the first level. This Series X image quality advantage is curious, but consistent with another id-Tech.
So they're saying that the Series X has an advantage over the PlayStation 5 already, right? So in this game, the Xbox Series X is superior to the PlayStation 5 version, right? No surprise there.
7 game Doom Eternal. In both cases, we have a use of hardware-based variable rate shading, VRS, which
So Xbox, they have a hardware VRS compared to Sony. Is it software VRS? So there is a big difference with hardware VRS compared to software VRS. And guess what? The Xbox Series X has the hardware type,
which was engineered by Microsoft's Advanced Technology Group. Also, much like Doom Eternal, the Great Circle shares the same 1800p targets resolution, where VRS reduces the bandwidth taken up by pixel shading threads. It's a huge benefit for taxing ray-traced games in this mold and ultimately frees up Series X's GPU to push to higher resolutions along its DRS scale.
So although the PlayStation 5 version and the Xbox Series X version have the same, schematics on paper, the Digital Foundry is saying that the Xbox Series X runs better because of the hardware VRS. That frees up memory to give higher visuals on the Xbox Series X version. Wow.
This would go a long way to explain the sharper image next to PS5, where hardware VRS is not supported, and despite their matching DRS ranges. Just as with Doom Eternal though, compared to PS5, there are subtle downsides to using this feature, notably a more obvious form of block noise. Neither console is totally free of visual noise, even with film grain and chromatic aberration disabled, but these block noise artifacts are more apparent on Series X. One example of this in action that I've found is this zoom in on Indiana's suit. At a regular viewing distance, it's not a massive distraction, and these issues are ultimately outweighed by the way VRS affords Series X a boost in overall clarity.
So Digital Foundry is saying that Series X has a boost in visual quality compared to the rest, all because of the hardware VRS implemented on the Xbox Series X. So I mean, this just goes to show that Microsoft knew what they were doing. To have, for this console to be competing with the PlayStation 5 Pro to this date really shows that Microsoft really did give us an excellent console back in 2020. Crazy.
The PS5 Pro enhancement is worth touching on too. While hardware-based VRS is in theory a feature on PS5 Pro, it appears the rendering setup in the Great Circle is no different to the base console. Even so, PS5 Pro excels for its ability to generate higher resolution frames, afforded by a beefier 16.7 teraflop GPU. Going up to a native 4K at best means the fine threadwork of clothing appears pin-sharp, especially compared to base PS5, as does the presentation of grass in the opening jungle. PS5 Pro pushes the cleanest image of the trio here, even if benefits in
PlayStation 5 Pro, Digital Foundry says, pushes the cleanest image. Wow. Let's see.
Settings outside of this are rather limited. Jumping to performance testing next, the Great Circle benefits from strong optimization on PS5 and PS5 Pro alike for any regular gameplay. Each one is tightly optimized around a 60 FPS target, where areas flooded with NPCs or the dense jungles simply fly by at 60. For any variances in on-screen load, their dynamic resolution set.
The PlayStation 5 Pro should not be beaten in any way, shape, or form by the Xbox Series X. Listen.
Setups are able to compensate, though it's not always a perfectly smooth ride. Much like Series X, there are two minor nuisances that carry over to PS5 systems. Firstly, there is an auto-saving feature which will trigger a small hitch, a frame time spike that kicks in at invisible thresholds around the world. It's especially obvious while navigating the Vatican City, with each mini stutter being followed by a small autosave symbol, and all round, it's a shame that it's not more discreet. The second point relates to the in-engine cutscenes. As
In-engine
authentic as each
cutscenes?
cinematic is, every camera cut is coupled with a string of dropped frames. Most
All right.
likely, this is a buffer of sorts used by the renderer to allow the physics-based elements on screen, like clothing, to settle for a few frames first, and therefore avoid a distracting position refresh with every cut. Likewise, it might be there to
Wow.
help
Just
disguise
so-
the game's
let-
DRS
let me go back.
switches. Still, the end result is PS5, PS5 Pro, and Series X all drop frames at these exact same moments. And as you can see, there's nothing to split them.
Why is the PlayStation 5 Pro dropping to 57 frames per second?
Result is
Could
PS5,
somebody explain
PS5
that?
Pro, and Series X all drop
I'm trying to get this
cut. Likewise,
57. Look at this here. Look at this here, guys. Xbox Series X 55 FPS, PlayStation 5 54 FPS, PlayStation 5 Pro 55 FPS. What foolishness is this? This console is $800 after all.
it might be there to help disguise the game's DRS switches. Still, the end
Wow.
result is PS5, PS5 Pro, and Series X all drop frames
Look at
at
these
these exact
frames.
same moments. And as you can see, there's nothing to split them. With all that being said, there is one repeatable drop during an in-engine scene later in
At no point in time should the Xbox Series X be beating the PlayStation 5 Pro when it comes to frames per second. Let's look at this.
the crypts of the Vatican. This is a rare outlier case, really, given that everything else runs so well, but it does underline a Series X advantage. As Indiana studies this parchment, a vehicle comes crashing through the ceiling, causing a burst of alpha and particle effects to fill the frame. In this moment, Series X has the GPU headroom to get closer
Look at this. Look on your screen, guys. The Xbox Series X is running at 58 frames per second. The PlayStation 5 is running at 54 frames per second. And the Xbox Series X beats the PlayStation 5 Pro when it comes to how it runs this particular scene. How is a 5-year-old console outperforming the PlayStation 5 Pro? And these ponies have the gall to say that the PlayStation 5 Pro can beat a PC. It can barely beat a 5-year-old console. What are these guys even smoking?
to 60 frames per second, with the expected hitches on every camera cut. PS5, by comparison, takes a more drastic hit, down to the 40s. Again, this is a rare moment, but I figured it worth highlighting to show another potential advantage of Series X's hardware VRS.
So it just goes to show that Microsoft made the better bets. They did hardware VRS, and we are seeing the performance of the Xbox Series X even against the PlayStation 5 Pro. It really goes to show how powerful the Xbox Series X is. Now, for the icing on the cake, it's time for us to listen to a fellow pony who is actually disgruntled about how Sony is going right now. You see, not much ponies admits that Sony is doing something wrong. If you ask any PlayStation fan how PlayStation is going at the moment, they would say PlayStation is doing swimmingly well because they are selling consoles. You heard what I said? They would say that PlayStation is doing swimmingly well because they are selling consoles. Let me say shout out to my guy P-Lump. P-Lump, thank you. P-Lump with a $5 dono. Let me just highlight you here, P-Lump. Thank you for that. P-Lump is saying, what are you talking about, Island Gaming? PlayStation 5 Pro is better than a 1590. Every pony will tell you that. right, man. What am I even saying? The PlayStation 5 Pro is a bomb. This thing could power right now New York City. There's so much power in the PlayStation 5 Pro. So let's listen as the PlayStation gamers wake up. The Great Awakening, I call it. Listen.
Achievements can be earned in
Or not doing they
Listen.
so is also why, like, when I hear people say, you know, when you complain that PlayStation not announcing games or not showing gameplay or not doing showcase, and I see people saying be patient. Yo, excuse my language. If there's any children in the room, please cover their ears real quick. My face with that bullshit, bruh. Like, respectfully, no, because at the end of the day, you're a paying customer and you're paying all this money. So to
right
sit
now,
there and say be patient.
This is the guy who would have said, where is faction? That guy is Persona, by the way. Right now, he is fed up of Sony not saying anything. He has reached his point. He has reached his boiling point with Sony. Listen.
Patient, wait. Nah, bro. Like, yo, real talk, that patience and all that shit out the window. Because it's like, yo, you keep going up in price. We paying all this money on this console, on the PS Plus, and the prices keep going up and all this, and then most likely games are going to go cross.
And you know what? Everyone is just taking the price increase what that Sony is doing. Sony has not given their gamers anything for them to be excited about. Let's be real, right? Although Marathon is a game that these guys, it's been made by a PlayStation studio, Bungie now, really and truly, that can get the streets fired up. That can get these ponies in the stable ready to run. Come on, let's be real.
Across the board going to start costing $80 and all this stuff, right? All this money is expected from the consumer, but then when the consumer is demanding to see gameplay or demanding to get updates.
No, according to Jimmy Neutron, you guys want too much. Why Sony should give a showcase? Why Sony should, show any new gameplay? Right? They are selling so well. You guys are benefiting from Sony sales. What up, Vince? What up?
From developers and all this, they're talking about be patient and nah, bruh. Like, yo, real talk. Or you want to showcase from PlayStation or we don't need a showcase and we not ready. Nah, real talk. No, right? And the thing is, PlayStation has put themselves in this position or put their developers in this position where you're charged.
Let me just say, Persona, that you want a showcase.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
All this money.
You guys want showcase. You guys want new games. You guys want gameplay. You ponies will get what you want. Will receive exactly what Sony is giving you. I'm hearing that Bungie is working on a game called Gummy Bears. I am sure you guys would love that game. I'm sure you guys would love, all of the games that are coming, Marathon and so forth. You guys would love that.
That grace period of giving people the right amount of time, that grace period is dwindling because now people are like, you keep going up in price.
Yes, you guys pay. Pony fans, Sony fans, keep paying. Keep not saying anything to Sony. Sony, I would have asked many PlayStation fans, is Sony doing anything wrong? Should anyone be worried about Sony? Nah, it's Xbox is dying. Xbox is dead. But now all of a sudden you guys are waking up. I've been saying this for practically 2 years.
Price on everything, but then you're not giving me the proper showcase. You're not giving me no dates. You're not showing me no gameplay. You're not being... Well,
according to some PlayStation fans, guys, PlayStation have been giving you banger showcases, banger state of plays. After hearing some persons have been saying the state of plays that have been showing is 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. All of these things, you hear what I'm saying? These guys were saying that the showcase that Sony was showing back in the day, the state of plays plays recently shown was 9 and 8 out of 10.
Y'all smoking crack. Something is wrong with you people.
More forthcoming with information. So of course people are going to start feeling restless and feeling some type of way. And for the people that saying be patient, or man, shut the man. Like that's how.
Be patient, ponies. Come on, be patient. Come on. You guys waited how long? 2-3 years without any kind of major showcase? Come on, you guys can wait another 2 years. Come on, when Wolverine is going to drop, we'll give you guys a showcase. Right? When Intergalactic going to drop, we'll give you guys a showcase. But until then, wait. We'll give you guys gummy bears. We'll give you guys walking simulators. I mean, come on.
I feel. Shut the because at the end of the day, all this money is being spent.
Come on, Paypigs, eat. You continue to pay. Shout out again to Pilum for dropping that $2 dono. Now, Pilum is saying, PlayStation is dead. Where is Baby? I forgot about Baby Steps, man. Pilum, where is Baby Steps? Are they still making that exclusive to the PlayStation platform? I mean, Baby Steps just went quiet. I mean, is it that Baby Steps is looking to get an enhanced version for the PlayStation 5 Pro? Think about it, guys. Think about playing Baby Steps in 4K 120, right? 4K 120 Baby Steps. Wow.
I'm expected to pay all this money. A gamer is on the console gamer is expected to pay all this money. And I can't question where the announcements are. Can't.
You cannot question. You hope these ponies don't catch you, man. These ponies are going to, boy, I don't know, you better run, Persona, because these ponies are saying you're going off topic. Shout out to Pilump again. In the words of Willy Wonka, they get nothing.
Question when am I going to see gameplay? I can't question none of that. How that sound? That sounds crazy. And the thing is, the most people that say this are people who get shit free anyway or get early access. Barry, what's your thoughts on all this, man? My fault. Go ahead, man.
Yo, this pony is having an honest meltdown because he can't believe after he is recapping all the things he has been going through, this man is having an honest meltdown. And let me just say, I will sit back and I will do just like Charlie Murphy. Oh, buddy.
My fault. I went off. You muted. I can't hear you talking. I went a little too far. Sorry. That's for episode 200.
Nah.
Hit the like button, guys.
Nah, that's the new hustle. You know what I mean? You get the free code spend it on the game. But nah, man. I agree 100%. You know, they expect or they want a lot from the console gamer, but when you expect from the developer or the publisher or the platform holder, you know, that's when you got to be quiet. You know, the classic saying, "Shut up and dribble." You know what I mean? Shut up and game. Don't worry about what we're doing. But here's an increase to PlayStation Plus. Here's an increase to this. Here's an increase to that. You know,
no, it's really wild that Sony would have increased PlayStation Plus in Canada. Sony would have increased PlayStation, the consoles in Europe. Why are they not touching America? I thought Sony was not afraid of Microsoft. I thought, according to you ponies, that PlayStation is dead. What up, Shadow Gamer? What up, Big B Money?
Oh, you bought a PlayStation VR 2? Oh, you want first party? Oh, be quiet. You know what I mean? Just buy your peripheral and be quiet. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And yo, it's crazy how a lot of people now are conditioned to not wanting a showcase or wanting more from PlayStation.
Yeah, if you ask any Sony fan right now, they would say you should not be asking for a showcase. Sony have no need to do a showcase because they won. What did Sony win? What did Sony win, guys? How are you benefiting from Sony selling 75 million consoles? Sony would have just doubled the price for their consoles in certain regions. They would have raised their PlayStation Plus service. They would have raised their games. They would have raised their console. How are you winning when it is Sony sells 75 million? What do you get? Bragging rights? Bragging rights? You winning with that? Come on, man.
Because I put out a poll the other day and I was like, yo, you expect a showcase this year? And people was like, oh, PlayStation they don't do showcases. We don't need that. And I'm just like, yo, it's been 2 years. Like, what do you mean you don't need a showcase?
Crazy.
You know, it's a great feeling when you see other platforms, regardless of E3 is not there anymore, and you see them have like a celebration for, hey, here's what's coming to our platform. And here's the date to celebrate that, you know, like the typical E3 timing. Yeah, that's a great time. That's for people that's heavily invested into your platform. They can be like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Pilum, you're right. All that consoles with no game. Let's be real. Come on.
Here's why I'm heavily invested into this platform. Here's why I primarily play on this platform. You know what I mean? The fact that we're not getting like showcases, like bigger showcases. Not saying that State of Play isn't great. I like State of Plays. I think it's cool. But yeah, I want PlayStation to...
It's amazing how PlayStation killed the big showcase. You know why? Because PlayStation don't have the big games. I believe that when it is they are ready to show Wolverine, that would be a big game for Sony. I believe that they might show Wolverine and Intergalactic at the same time. Then they might bring out a PlayStation showcase. Until then, the games as a service really did a number on PlayStation. PlayStation honestly have no big games to get the streets talking. Let's face it. The sooner PlayStation fans faced that what Jim Ryan did by pumping out all of those games as a service really took a toll on PlayStation. That is why they have to settle for state of plays rather than showcases. Let's be honest.
Especially,
what up, Sunrush? What up? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet.
The fact that you brag about making all this money left and right, you're breaking records, you're hitting milestones, but you had things prior, you had things set up before where the people that prefer your platform, that enjoy your platform, that have been playing on your platform since the beginning, can celebrate that. PlayStation experience no longer there.
What up, Trubnet? What up? What up? Welcome, man. It's been a while. Shout out to you, man.
Showcases no longer doing it. You know what I mean? Like, yo, how?
So here we have Jay Barry saying that here what Sony, it feels like Sony's no longer catering to their hardcore. It seems like PlayStation is just catering to the casuals who is buying their PlayStation for Call of Duty, for the FIFAs and so forth. They are no longer catering to their hardcore. And to a point I'm seeing where he's coming from, no longer Sony is really going all out to give no big showcase. You know why? Because the casuals are buying the consoles. The casuals are saying, yeah, what? Right now PlayStation has the mind share. So why even bother, pander to the hardcore?
Where is a place where the PlayStation gamers can gather up and be like, yo, let's celebrate what's going on or what PlayStation has coming up.
You're right.
That's these quick, state of plays, and not saying that doesn't have its place, but you also got to have that bigger celebration, in my opinion.
No, the exact same thing both Persona and Jabari was saying. I've been saying this in my videos for years, and I would have PlayStation guys saying I'm lying, I am coping and so forth. But now we have PlayStation guys who primarily play on PlayStation is saying the same thing I've been saying for years. Really and truly, Sony is not giving their gamers what they really want. What they really want is those heavily narrative games, graphical, single player, over the shoulder games. Those are the games that Sony fans are known for playing. And Sony's not doing that.
You know what I mean? But that's the problem. When you're done complaining, that's when you just conform. That's when you settle. And then they think that's fine. That's where we see, you know, the classic quotes like Jim Ryan, no adverse reaction. You know what I mean?
Which is
But
bullshit.
lighting up people's DMs and comments. Yo, man, this is what you don't want to say out loud. Like, say it out loud. You know what I mean? But
yep,
pretty much it.
You hit the nail on the head. Nah, you know,
Guys, don't
it's no
forget to
longer
hit the like
complaining,
button,
Fresh.
hit the subscribe button.
It's expectations. You know, the expectation is there because, again, prices are going up everywhere. You know, and obviously there's things outside of gaming that's attributing to these price increases that may be outside of certain companies' controls, right? You know, we're not going to get into all of that, right? But the point is, for the consumer, all they see is the company that they do business with increasing the price. They're not looking at the outside variables for that. So as a consumer, as somebody that's invested.
What is PlayStation fans getting from Sony? What is the value? Could anyone tell me the value? Could any PlayStation gamer listening right now really itemize a sincere value, a list of things Sony is giving to them that they see why they should invest in Sony? Right off the bat, Microsoft has the best studios producing the best games currently. And by being on the platform and subscribing to Game Pass, I get to experience all of those games if I choose to day one, right? That's just being I could play these games on PC. I could play it via handheld. Come on, man. Come on.
Invested into the ecosystem, invested into the product, invested into the games. I'm looking at, okay, you're increasing the price.
Sony is increasing the price of most of their services, most of their consoles. Why aren't the PlayStation gamers speaking out about that? After not getting no showcase for years, after not getting no major releases for years. Come on.
Here's where my expectations are. Here are what I expect from you, given the price increase. And again, as a consumer, you have every right to expect a company that you buy money, that you invest money into, to move a certain way if you want to continue, if they want to continue to see for you to do business with them.
So Persona and these guys want PlayStation to really show their gamers what they are getting for all these price increase. And Sony is telling Persona and a lot of these ponies,
ain't nobody got time for that.
You feel me? So as a gamer, if you're somebody that's invested into the PlayStation ecosystem, somebody that's invested into the product, I don't think it's wrong.
Listen to me, Pilum, you are getting that, man. You are getting that for sure. This has to be, without a shadow of a doubt.
This is a sickness. It is deviant. Therefore, we don't want it.
Yes, it is a sickness, man. A sickness in the highest order.
Wrong to call out PlayStation, call out its developers, because again, for some developers, it may be outside of their control where they may want to show the game and PlayStation saying no, right? But again, even if that's the case, I don't know information that I don't know. So I can't count that as a variable.
Now, guys, do you feel sorry for some of the PlayStation gamers who are finally seeing what Sony is doing to them? Are you guys feeling sorry? Are you guys, could you guys sympathize with the PlayStation community for seeing that Sony is basically treating them like a steaming bowl of dog manure? Can you guys? What do you guys? Pilum right away says no. Me saying that statement, all of you guys are saying this.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
That is what you guys are saying right now when I said that. Come on, man. Do you guys have a heart for the PlayStation community who is seeing all of this thing happening?
Terrible if that's not something.
Look how melancholy Persona songs come into this realization that Sony don't care. Look at these guys. Could you guys find it in your heart to feel sorry for these ponies? Oh, buddy. Oh, buddy.
That's out in the open and understood. So all I know is that PlayStation developers are not talking. They're not showing gameplay. They're not doing this. They're not doing that. And games are being shut down, canceled, and all those other different things. That's what I know.
Guys, how many PlayStation developers are making? Have we heard anything outside of Insomniac, Naughty Dog? Have we heard anything from any other PlayStation studio on what they are working on? Because I'm trying to remember, what is the roadmap that Sony has? Could their consumers really say that they have a roadmap? I mean, I don't know. I might be ignorant to the fact, but maybe you guys could tell me, what are these studios cooking outside of Naughty Dog and Insomniac?
That's what we see. That's the tangible. That is what the fact is right now. There is no showcase. State of plays are far few between. You feel me? And those other different things, but the prices are going up.
Yeah, there's no consistency. You know what I mean? Like, one thing about Nintendo, when they're going to do something. Like, there's like a annual or a consistent timing. It's like, oh yeah.
So they are admitting that Nintendo have a consistent timeline as to when they do their Nintendo Direct. So they are admitting that Nintendo are really, how to say, setting the precedence for their fans. Nintendo fans know when they are going to get a Nintendo Direct.
There's going to be a Direct or whatever, a Treehouse is coming. Xbox, the same thing. You know when.
Right, so he also admits that Xbox Gamer consistently for the past 3 or 4 years, Microsoft consistently would have had their showcase sometime in June, May, June, July, somewhere around there. They consistently had a showcase for I think 3 years right after the holiday time. So around February, March, somewhere there, they consistently did that, right? But what is the consistency with Sony? All you guys are consistently getting is price increases. You guys are consistently getting your services shutting down for 24 hours. You guys are consistently able to pay Microsoft $70 for 10-year-old games. This is what is consistent on the PlayStation 5 platform. Let's be honest.
There's something coming. For PlayStation, there's no consistency as far as when even a state of play is coming or even a showcase is coming.
I could agree with that. And a matter of fact, Jabari, that is why I am going to give you this.
Gotcha.
What up? Let me say shout out to Anonymous Boss. What up, Anonymous Boss? Thank you for that $2 super chat. Anonymous Boss said they're making us pay for food and water. Yes, man. They're making you pay for everything under the sun. Everything.
Thank you. You're making us pay for water, you son of a... You're making us pay for grapes.
Yes.
Things that God gave us for free.
No, we didn't give you for free. Everything you have to
will
pay
burn in hell when I'm through with you. You will not be allowed in my father's house at all.
At all.
Thank you. You're...
Oh Lord, hey, that clip always cracks me up, boy. That clip always cracks me up. Wow.
That's a random on Tuesday or on a Wednesday.
Hey, shout out to P-Lump again, man. P-Lump is saying the PlayStation 5 is a third-party box and a Xbox. Yeah, you're right, man. You are absolutely right, Pilab. I would agree with that. So I mean,
They'll play tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like there's no consistency. Like I personally
And
would
there's no
rather
established
having some type of
cadence. There's no established
Yeah.
cadence of like, every 2 months there's a state of play or whatever. It's just random shit. So, but it is what it is. Let's move it along.
now Shadow Gamer, you would have heard your PlayStation brethren would have admitted that Sony is not satisfying the needs of their hardcore gamers. Do you agree with Persona here and Jabari, Shadow Gamer? We know you're a pony. Do you agree with them? Do you agree that Sony is just raising prices and not giving you guys content? Would you agree that there is no kind of consistency with Sony when it comes to their showcases? Would you agree, Shadow Gamer, that there are increases after increases after increases, but guess what? You guys should not complain. What do you say about that, Shadow Gamer? How do you feel about that, Shadow Gamer? Are you going to be honest here today and confess your sins, Shadow Gamer? Shadow Gamer, where are you? Are you going to confess your sins that here what you were wrong? You guys were wrong not to say anything to Sony. That is why you are in the position you are in today. At the end of the day, say what you want. We are seeing very clear that Xbox is giving their consumers value. Xbox is giving their consumers something to get jiggy with. You guys are playing in a dust field. You guys are playing in the desert. You guys are parched with dry lips and dry hands. You guys have nothing. So it's very clear that this week was wild, guys. Let me say shout out to all the guys who was here supporting the stream. Let me just say I'm constantly trying to do better with these streams. I'm trying to be consistent, not like Sony, and be here on most Sundays. So shout out to all the guys who would have supported. P-Lump, big time supporter, Anonymous Boss. We had, who again we had supported tonight, man? We had a lot of you guys in the chat. Be Big Money, Rodney Revenge, all of you guys who came up, Professor Strong, Backstrap Otaku News, Vince, Gambit, all of you guys, shout out to you guys, man. Thank you for making this trip a lot of fun. I enjoy making these videos, man. These videos make me laugh like a crazy person myself. You guys liked how PDD cooked today in that video, man. PDD cooked in that video. He gave you guys a domain expansion, man. Infinite oil. Hey, that was wild, man. That was wild. But guys, thank you guys. We went beyond the hour mark tonight. I mean, we really had to get some of these topics off. So the next video most likely would come on Tuesday. You guys stay safe. I believe it's a long weekend for most of the world because of the holidays and so forth. So you guys stay safe. Don't drink too much of alcohol. And sometimes it's okay to chill with the family, chill with the wife, chill with the kids. You guys be safe, man. Be safe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks again. Take it easy. And good night. Don't forget, put God first and mankind after. Island Gaming with Jay out.